anyone notice the any homeless folks around Roosevelt Island or around the east side? I was actually talking and folks have brought that up. So the quick thing about when you see somebody who's homeless, their best thing to do, we actually have a column, we just put it in our town, but call 311. For all of you who are frustrated with 311, there's a new sheriff in town, call 311, call my office, we'll make sure 311 works for you. So if you call 311, we will the Department of Homeless, you'll be connected with the Department of Homeless Services. The first question they ask you is the person having an emergency. If you look at somebody and you think they're in an emergency, call 911. So if you call 301 instead of 911, you say, no, I don't think it's an emergency. You say there's this homeless person, they're going to ask you what they look like, where they are, any defining characteristics. They use that information to see if that person's already in their system. And they will dispatch a van with outreach workers who will then ask the person if they want to come in from the cold. Today it's actually fairly temperate, but any day that it's less than 34 degrees, it's code blue, which means a lot of requirements are waived and we double the staff. So what happens then? If you give your name and number, they'll actually call you back and tell you what happened. And that's really satisfying because it's not the satisfaction of giving them a quarter or a dollar or whatnot, it's the satisfaction of getting a call back saying, yes, that person is now on their way to a shelter, that person is going to get the services they need. One thing you should know is you may see the visible people on the street. If somebody's homeless, that means they're sleeping on the street. If they're there asking for money, that is often sometimes a panhandler, not necessarily a homeless person. If you see a panhandler, still call that in, and we'll send somebody out to figure out what's going on there. So you know we have 60,000 people who are homeless tonight, and of those, 24,000 are children. So for all the people out there saying, why can't homeless people get a job? Child labor laws. Most of these are families, and it's an affordable housing problem that we're also going to be seeing on Roosevelt Island, which is when you lose your affordable housing, you have nowhere you can live. And so many of these people are young families, and it's about 40,000 families. It's only about 11,000 single adults. So we're going to be focusing a lot on homelessness as we go. When a person declines, sometimes the person is going to decline services, what ends up happening is you still call 311. You see somebody you're worried about, the thing you can do for them is you call 311. You can call them once a day, every day. It takes 5 minutes, and they will dispatch somebody, they will go out. And it turns out that over time, they will build a relationship and eventually convince that person to come in. So you're the eyes and ears. You're empowered to do something about it, but it is 311. If you feel like you called 311, you didn't have a good experience, or you called 311, they didn't call you back, even though you gave them your information, or you called 301 and it's still a problem and they've done it multiple times, we're happy to work with you. Just call my office, we'll make sure that it works. But along those lines, that's my pitch. On February 9th, February 9th is the HOPE. It's the Homeless Outreach Population Estimate. The Roosevelt Islands training site is at Hunter College, and if you go home tonight, and if you don't have anything better to do between 10:30 p.m. and 4 a.m., and your significant others don't mind you being out late at night with me, we'll be doing a canvass of the neighborhood to find out who's there. It's safe. You ask a couple of questions, and it helps inform where we send our resources. And Roosevelt Island is in the Hunter College territory. And then